Hey folks, today we're going to be reviewing Resigned to Miracles by Peter Groning. Let's get into it. Welcome to Slightly Better Magic Reviews. My name is Paul, and today we're going to be reviewing Resigned to Miracles by Peter Groning. So what's in the tin? You get a small hardcover book which is 113 pages long with illustrations by Tony Dunn. It's comprised of 3 sections, the first one being the main concept, the second one being effects with the main concept, and the third section being 3 standalone effects. So how is the value and is it overpriced? The book costs $39.95 and it's a small book, as I mentioned. If you think you'll use the material in it, then it's probably a good value. I didn't find the material very practical, so I won't be using anything in the book, so for me it wasn't a very good value. So who is this for, a hobbyist or a pro? I would say this is geared towards the professional magician, and not only a professional magician, but one that works close up and then goes into a parlor or stage show immediately after. If you don't work that way, then you're probably not going to find a lot of useful information in this book. What is the skill level of this book? I would say it's definitely intermediate to high. If you're a beginner, I think you would struggle with the material in this book. So where is this material meant to be performed? That's the $1,000,000 question in my mind. Peter suggests doing the effect close up, the main effect close up, and then using the obtained signatures in a later set on stage or parlor when you've had a chance to go to your case and set up for the next trick. The problem is that most people don't work that way. The effects in this book, in my mind, they seem like close-up effects, not parlor or stage effects. So you're getting the main effect, which is a close-up effect, and then you're getting all these neat ideas to use the main effect, but they seem like close-up tricks. So the question is, how are you supposed to take the secretly obtained signatures and set up for your next trick if you're doing just close-up? How's the teaching in this book? I would say the teaching is well done with nice illustrations by Tony Dunn. However, it is kind of heavy when you're reading it, so I find that going through it with cards in hand is probably the best way to fully understand what's going on as you read. How's the setup and reset? Most of these effects have a couple minutes of setup, and he doesn't really go over the reset, but I would imagine that would take a couple minutes as well. How are the angles? The angles on these are comparable to most close-up effects, where you wouldn't want people standing directly behind you, especially on a couple of the effects. So what are the pros and cons of this book? The pros are it's a nicely produced book. It has nice illustrations that are done by Tony Dunn, and it's a very clever principle. The cons are that I just didn't find it practical to use in the real world, and that the effects in the book that are taught using the main principle aren't practical for use in parlor or stage. So would I use stuff in the book? I don't see myself using anything in the book. I don't find myself performing close up and then going into a stage or parlor setting with the same audience. So what am I going to give this for a rating? Since I'm not going to use anything in the book and I found it not practical for real world use, I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10. I know that's not going to be a popular opinion. I've seen the reviews on this book, but I think those reviews are basing it on how clever the principle is and not how practical it is in real world use. If you found this review helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps me keep making more. Thanks a lot.